Hey guys, what is up? SonicHaXD here, and welcome to my top 10 most wanted Smash characters list. Since I haven't done a face review, I thought I'd do a delicate, silky, dry hand cam for you guys. Hope this works out. Smash Ultimate's coming up, and I thought it'd be fun to make a wish list of my personal favorite Smash characters since I've always wanted to do something like this. Yeah, I thought I'd just do it for fun. The rules are none, because if I did do something like one character per franchise, no third-party characters, or like no characters who have been confirmed or something like that, I'd probably only have like 3 characters on this list. But anyways, without further ado, let's get right into a strong number 10. It's ya boy, ya man, Waluigi, y'all. You know I had to do it to him. You know we had to bring the man back. We gotta bring justice to Waluigi. We gotta bring the Wah in the Smash, turn it to Whooper Wash Rouse Waluigi time. We need him. Okay, look, I'm gonna be fairly honest with you guys. I don't really care about Waluigi.
This is America.
So let me explain how I'm going to talk about these characters. I'm going to start by explaining their potential abilities in the game and what they could do in Smash, and then I'm going to talk about why I personally want them in the game. So let's begin with what Waluigi can do. Now, fans have speculated that Waluigi could have movesets from either Mario Party or from the Mario sports games, because we don't really have much of that represented in Super Smash Bros, hence why they thought, oh, if Waluigi makes it in, then he could have stuff from that. While I agree that we can have a character with Mario Party moves, I just don't think that's really fitting for Waluigi out of everybody. Yeah, if Waluigi does make it in, I would expect him to have tennis related moves, but for him to have a full moveset related to Mario Party and stuff, I don't really agree with that. In fact, I'd say, like, if they wanted to do that, they should just make another Mario or something. And the sad thing is, there's not much else we can go on with what Waluigi can do in the game. He steps on people, he's got roses. But I did think of one thing that I personally would love to see Waluigi do. So when you see Waluigi, what would you think about? He's freaking tall. Not even big, he's just really tall. Like back when I was young, I always shipped Rosalina with Waluigi because they're both so freaking tall. And I find that to be something really interesting that they could add into his moveset. His aerials could reach very long. Like he could have more fancy leg movements than Bayonetta. However, even though he could reach really long, he's very thin, so he could be more of a light character. Either way, I think the reason that he's really tall and he's really thin can really influence his tilts and aerials in the game. And I just find that to be part of like the biggest charm that I would see if Waluigi ever made it into Super Smash Bros. Now to explain why I want him. Now the funny thing is, I don't really want him in the game. I can list out a lot more other characters who would be probably cooler and who deserve to be in Smash, and Waluigi shouldn't really like be this high on the list. Well then, with all that complaining aside, then why the heck did you put him on number 10? Well, to be honest, even though Nintendo didn't really convince me to really want him in the game, Twitter did. When I saw that scene, when I saw the disrespect of Waluigi assist trophy getting beaten up and dying in that video, I was disappointed too. I let out a big sigh and I said, he didn't make it into Smash again. I feel like I have also been influenced enough to the point where, yeah, sure, I want him in Smash too, because of the memes. I don't know if that sounds like a negative, but that legit actually does put me in a spot where like I would not mind seeing Waluigi, and in fact I do want Waluigi because of the memes. The people, Twitter, memes have influenced me enough. As weird as that sounds. Fun fact, I made a wish list for my top 15 Super Smash Bros. Characters before Smash 4 was announced. I believe I had Bowser Jr. at like number 13, Waluigi at like around number 12. And Daisy was number 8. Now look, you gotta understand, Daisy actually has some interesting concept. Like, she could have some flower powers, but okay, look, I don't want to be hated on the internet, so I'm just gonna end it there by saying, Waluigi, number 10, congratulations. We need you in Smash for justice. Wah! Without further interruption, Without further interruption, let's celebrate and suck some dick as we head into number 9. Number 9 is a highly requested Nintendo character that basically almost everybody in the Smash community wanted, and that is your big boy, Ridley. No. He's already been announced. Haha. Well, actually, my number 9 pick is not Ridley, but it is in fact your thick boy, King K. Rool. Are you fucking kidding me? I had this part written on my script here. Now it's just all gone to waste. Okay, that's fantastic. You know what? I'll just make this quick as to why I want King K. Rool in the game. I made an analysis saying that if King K. Rool was in the game, he could have an ability from each of his boss fights from all of his previous games he's been in, and I thought they could implement that into his abilities in Smash, and that's exactly what they did. And I think that's actually something really cool, and I'm really glad they did that. So I don't really have a thick history with the Donkey Kong series, and especially with King K. Rool. The only time I've actually seen or played as him was back in the Donkey Kong Conga Racing Wii game, and you unlock him as one of like the final secret characters. And even if he did make it into Smash, which he did, I probably will not really pick him up. And that's not to say that I dislike King K. Rool in general, but it's because I'm not a fan of heavy hitters. So I'm not like really into playing the Bowsers or the Ganondorfs or the daddy type characters. I'm not too sure if I will actually pick up King K. Rool. So then, with all that complaining aside, why the heck did I put him on number 9? Well, the reason why is because as a fan of Smash, this character deserves to be in Smash. Like, he has been the most highly requested, probably the same level as Ridley, back when Melee came out. I feel like this is a character that he just deserves his spot in Smash at this point. It's like, you cannot deny how many people want this beautiful thick king in Smash. And that kind of influenced me as to why I decided that I wanted to put him on my list too. Even though I personally may not play as him that much, but I still think he's a fantastic character to include in Smash. And who knows? Maybe I'll be into heavy hitters in Smash Ultimate. Maybe I will be a King K. Rool in the new Ultimate game. You never know. This is starting to feel more like the top 10 characters that Smash deserves, but doesn't need right now. Look, I promise the next couple of characters are actual characters that I really do want in Smash. So just stick around. And now we are heading into number 8. It's Paper Mario. Haha, get it? Like if you laugh, and subscribe to win a chance in my free gift card. Paper Mario comes from the Paper Mario series, which basically has nothing to do with the regular Mario series, hence why the fans really want this character in the game, and they would say that he's not a Mario clone because he is really different. Paper Mario has like a lot of potential to be a very cool and unique character. First off, his games are RPGs, so they're turn-based. Now, his main attacks in the game revolve around him jumping on other characters and his infamous hammer. Now, I'm not too sure what they could do with jumping, but I'm sure they could put his hammer in as his like tilts and forward smash. However, they could add an interesting RPG aspect into his moveset to dish out more damage, or like if he dodges stuff, he gets rewarded and stuff like that. That is something that they could do. The other thing is that he has a ton of partners throughout his adventures in the Paper Mario series, and I believe that they can implement that into his moveset. Like he could have Coop's shell, he could have Goombella's I'm sorry, I only played the 1,000-Year Door, so I don't know what else they could do, but there's a ton. He has a ton of partner abilities, so they could implement that into his kit. Last but not least, he's freaking paper. That's like the most creative thing that they can give to a character for movesets in Smash. He can turn into a paper plane, he can turn into a paper boat, he could twist around, he can roll around. Mr. Game & Watch would be super jealous of a character like this, in my opinion. I really think they should let Paper Mario be playable in the game, because I really think Paper Mario deserves a bigger spot in the Super Smash Bros. Games. And I must say, Paper Mario is a really awesome series, and I really hope to see him make it in Smash someday. Number 7 is a Kirby character, because I think we need more of those. Magolor. Magolor's existence is a spoiler, and I'm gonna spoil it, so here we go. So Magolor's story is basically, in the Kirby game, his ship is destroyed, you need to help him, you help him, he turns out he's a bad guy, you fight him, he dies, but then he doesn't die and he's still around. And I freaking want this character. I only wanted Magolor solely because of his final boss fight is really freaking cool. He could use magical abilities, he could teleport around, he looked freaking awesome, he has a giant ship. And even in the newest game, you get to see him more as a fleshed out character without his like awakening form. But if they implement him into the game, I would love to see him without his awakening form, using his awakening form abilities. I thought Magolor was a really cool character back in, what's the game called? Kirby Dreamland Wii exclusive. The game was too easy, so it didn't get a high rated score thing. The really funny thing was I actually thought I was trolling by picking Magolor as a character that I want from the Kirby series, because it's like, oh haha, I want Magolor in the game, but come on, who the heck wants this character that doesn't even come from that successful of a game? But as it turns out, he actually did make it into the Smash ballots, and people in Japan do want him. So yeah, that actually surprised me a lot, and that definitely motivated me to keep him on the list, because his final boss fight is really freaking cool, and I would love to use his abilities in that. And that's really the only reason why he's on this list. I think Marks has a better chance now because of his success. I'd be fine if Marks makes it in. I could give less of a shit about DDD's side special. I'm sorry. I don't even know why I want to die. Number 6, we have another character that people want in the game, Krystal. So uh-oh, that's strike 2. I gotta be more careful or I'll be called fur fag of the day. So I mainly have 2 reasons as to why I put Krystal on the list. Well, 2 obvious reasons. Before I explain her moves, I wanted to start by explaining as to why I want her in the game. I like the Star Fox characters, but I've never played a Star Fox game. So the Star Fox characters in Smash, well, let me kind of explain. Fox is a space pilot who can move really fast and shoot lasers and use space gadgets, and is just a cool dude in general. Falco, similar to Fox, adds his own attitude with his abilities and kind of changes it up a bit, and is just a cool dude in general. Wolf is like the anti-Fox. His specials are like Fox, but it's just like a different version of it, and his moves are way more feral and rough, and he's just a motherfucking badass in general, and I'm just so I'm so happy that he made it. Oh man, and thank you so much, Daddy Sakura. However, as much as I like the Star Fox characters, there is something that you cannot deny about them. They are all freaking similar. They are all space agents. Hence why I think Krystal would be the perfect fit for a different type of character for the Star Fox series. And so what could she do? Well, first off, Krystal is a mage in her freaking game. Now, we don't have that many mage characters, so I totally do not mind having another mage type character. And her assist trophy ability is using ice, so I don't mind having another ice mage in this game. She could also have some space gadget moves since she does eventually join the Star Fox group. So, you know, she could be either a pure mage or a half mage, half space agent, which I think that's actually a pretty cool concept. So that's my opinion as to why I'd want Krystal in the game. Not the reasoning you think you suck! Number 5. This is my sort of meme pick. People want Goku, people want Shrek. I would like a character from Undertale. Before I continue, if for some reason you got triggered by the U word because the fandom ruined it, the fandom never ruined Undertale, okay? Like, the people just kept saying things like, oh, the fandom ruined Undertale, oh, how like the freaking, these cringy things keep popping up, and then that's why I hate Undertale now. Like, okay, yeah, sure, you can go on Tumblr, you can go on Rule 34, and you can search Undertale and be like, haha, look, the fandom ruined Undertale. But like, Undertale's fandom is not that bad. There are some actual good artwork out there, epic killer remixes, and some damn good fan games. And you're gonna diss all that. You're gonna diss all that and put fucking Sans farting as the representation of the fandom from Undertale. That's not fair, just as the reasoning to hate like any franchise just because there are some bad in a fandom. In fact, just because there's some bad in a fandom, that doesn't make like the whole entire thing worthless and bad in general. The bad part of the fandom just keeps getting pushed, and that just represents Undertale at this point. And everything else that's actually crazy amazing that the fans have actually done for Undertale is just pushed aside by Sans farting. You can have your own opinion about anything, and that's okay. You can hate Undertale, and that's okay. But if I hear someone say, I hate Undertale because of the fandom, you can go. You can leave. I don't want you on my channel anymore. Just go. I'm sorry. I got into a bit of a rant there. I kind of had that in my stomach for a while. But either way, let's just get on to number 5. Sans and Frisk. So I know he's a meme, but I really do want Sans in the game. Sans' existence is a spoiler, and here we go again, I guess. So, a couple of things he could do is, well, he likes making puns, so he could, throw hot dogs. He would have teleportation, and he could dodge easily. Okay, who am I kidding? You all know why we freaking want Sans in the game. Now, as cool as that would be, I don't think it's a good idea to just put Sans in the game and give him his Awakening Genocide route abilities for him. I would agree with that as his final smash, but like to let him have Gaster Blasters as his special, like that's too OP. So let me explain my alternate idea for his abilities, hence why I decided to put Frisk here on the list too. Now, if you guys know, Ness and Lucas's abilities, almost 80% of it aren't even their own. They can't use PK Fire, they can't use PK Starfall, the Snake isn't even Lucas's. Most of their move is taken from their partners in their game, and that's what they do in the Super Smash Bros. Game, which I thought was a really great way to implement the Earthbound series into just 2 characters. And this is what I'm thinking about what they could do with Frisk. Frisk could use Undyne's Spear, Torio's Fire, Metatron's Legs. We could have a character that could just use various moves from other characters in Undertale, and I think that would be a fantastic way to represent Undertale as a character, and who better to do it than Frisk? While I do think that maybe like the 6th or 7th little boy character in Smash might be too much, but I do really think Frisk can do a great job at representing Undertale characters' moves in the game. And heck, Sans could work with this too. Sans could use characters from Undertale's moves, and he could still have the Genocide route Awakening ability as his final smash. This is how I think Frisk or Sans would work if they did make it into Smash. I really do like Undertale, and I do think that it's a little far-fetched for Super Smash Bros. To put them in, but people want them, so you never know. Now we are going to head on to number 4. Now, back when Smash 4 came out, I was kind of disappointed with not having that much Skyward Sword representation in the game, because I'm like, oh, okay, this is the new Smash game, and Skyward Sword was the newest Legend of Zelda game that came out that was really successful. I was like thinking about maybe having like a Skyward Sword version of Zelda, maybe some different Skyward Sword based moves for Link, but we didn't really get that, and all we really got was a stage and an assist trophy and some trophies and stuff like that, so I was kind of disappointed. And that leads to my number 4 pick, which would be an awesome representation of Skyward Sword, Gera. Gera is this weird, sadistic, creepy fella, and is, in my opinion, a pretty good Legend of Zelda villain. So, what could Gera do in the game? Let's see. First off, he's got 1 sword, he could use 2 swords, he could use a giant sword, he could turn himself into a sword, he has daggers, he can turn his skin hard, he can teleport, he can make platforms appear, he's got creepy dances. His final smash could be summoning his master to wield himself. Look, I'm not gonna lie. If Gera made it into the game, this is the type of character that I would have a blast with. With so many different weapons that he can use, that would make up for so many cool moves that he could do in the game. I just think he's gonna be a really fun character if he made it in Smash. Just look how hype he looks in Hyrule Warriors. I just think this character would be awesome in Smash, and I think I'd be the kind of player who would pick him up and main him and have a lot of fun with him. And now we are down to the top 3, baby. My number 3 pick, the man himself, Crash Bandicoot. Crash Bandicoot. So
Congratulations!
What?
That was your 3rd anthropomorphic character. You are Furfag of the day. Here's your punishment.
It's an honor.
Yay! Great job.
I'd like to thank Jimmy Davis. Crash Bandicoot, the Woe King. Crash Bandicoot is a bandicoot who runs around, spins, collects not apples, and dies and says whoa a lot. And he's number 3. So Crash's moveset, in my opinion, is really easy. You just give him the spin move and everybody would just kiss and lick Sakurai's feet already. He could spin, he could jump on boxes, he could maybe throw TNT, he's got bazookas, he could dash. Crash Bandicoot has a long history of movesets from his own games. Heck, you can make Coco as an Echo Fighter if you make it in the game. Crash Bandicoot is my childhood hero. He's the reason as to why I love 3D platforming games so much. Okay, that's arguable. But as much as I did like Crash Bandicoot, I would have never ever gave him a chance making it into Smash if it weren't for the fact that the Insane Trilogy came out and it's now on Switch. Now my hopes are up. I really do like this character, this funky, crazy, wacky character, and I would definitely love seeing someone like this to appear in Smash.
Now we are down to the last 2, baby!
I need to stop saying baby.
Donkey clones comprise nearly half of YouTube.
So what's pretty cool is in my original top 15 list, I couldn't decide between number 1, number 2, and Rosalina. Like these 3 have been tossed around, shuffled around, and eventually Rosalina was my number 1 pick. And so I was really glad that she made it into Smash 4 because I really wanted a representation from Mario Galaxy because I really love that series and I'm really glad that she has, you know, Mario Galaxy based moves, and I was really happy about that. So now without Rosalina, these 2 are also one of my most wanted characters in Smash that like I really hope that we get to see them someday, some way. So number 2 is probably also my weirdest pick out of my wish list. I don't think people want this character, but I really do want them, and I'm gonna explain why. And my number 2 pick is Midna and Wolf Link. So without
Congrats!
Shut the fuck up. Okay,
So apparently I have to explain myself a lot more with this character because if my choice isn't in the top 50, 100s, then I'd be cursed, shamed, and sent death threats because I didn't pick Ashley.
Hey, Ashley! Okay.
So I don't really think Midna needs an explanation why she's best babe, best waifu, best guide. So let's talk about the elephant in the room, Wolf Link. Whether or not Wolf Link gameplay wise is good or bad is debatable. But as a character and a story piece, I think Wolf Link fits perfectly with Midna, thanks to her psychological torture. In the beginning of the game, Midna knew that Link was the chosen hero, so she wanted to use him to help fight back Zant and turn him into her slave. Link, with no choice, agrees in order to save his friends. Their bond grows, and then Midna's lament happens and they become the best character in the game.
You so fucking precious when you smile.
I can go on about things in Twilight Princess, but the point is, I know that fans and Nintendo are trying their best to separate them, but I feel like Wolf Link has inserted himself enough into Midna's kit to the point where I honestly think they should stick together. I feel like Wolf Link is a part of Midna. Even in Hyrule Warriors, Wolf Link isn't with Midna. Well, guess where her abilities are? Wolves. I feel like Wolf Link doesn't get enough love, but I actually do like the concept of Wolf Link. Like, there's a lot of forms that Link has taken, and the other one that I could think of that's really interesting would be his masks in Majora's Mask. But a form of a wolf that looks this cool, Wolf Link is really well designed in my opinion too. I don't think there's another word that I can use, but originality with this character. He's got interesting marks, he has a chain with him the whole time, and my favorite part about him is his back hair. But in the end, I mainly do want Midna in Smash because she is my favorite Twilight Princess character, maybe even close to my favorite Zelda character. But if Midna did make it into Smash, I really hope that Wolf Link would be there with her. And you could say, oh, your opinion is immature. Oh, you don't understand the dynamic of why we must hate Wolf Link. Oh, you furfag. And that's fine. Just know that this is my opinion. And if Midna ever made it in Smash, I would really want to see Wolf Link with her. And now I'm going to get into the other reason why I picked them as number 2, their moveset. So I imagine that Wolf Link and Midna would be a pretty unique looking fighter because Wolf Link would be a 4-legged creature and Midna would be riding on him. But thanks to the existence of Duck Hunt Dog, a character like this can be more pictured. So I would imagine Wolf Link would be mostly ground-based abilities and he would be really fast. He would have fast tilt and jabs. I would imagine him to have fairs and bears. But the point is, I would imagine Wolf Link to have more fast abilities, while Midna would be more slow, but she would have more range and more damage. Well, I'd imagine the smash attacks and specials would be hers. Wolf Link can pounce, fight, dig. He can use his tail sword. Midna has TAADAAAAHH, which probably already makes up 80% of her abilities, but also she's got some Twilight magical abilities that look pretty cool. And if Wolf Link doesn't make it in, I'd imagine Midna to summon Twilight Wolves just like she does in Hyrule Warrior, which thanks to Hyrule Warriors, let's just see how amazing Midna could be. She tosses a wolf like a frisbee. And while we don't want the princess version of Midna, she still has some pretty cool moves in Hyrule Warriors. I could see Midna using that Twilight hand thing as her special too. And of course their final smash would be the Fused Shadows. That thing is badass. The Twilight Realm has like a lot of interesting concept for cool abilities. Midna and Wolf Link would be perfect to showcase just how cool the Twilight Realm was in Twilight Princess. Zan too, but you know, I want Midna. Midna isn't necessarily the most required character in Smash. We've already had Twilight Princess Link, Zelda, and Ganondorf in the past 2 games, so it's not really required for more representation. But I really do like these 2 characters, and I think they're one of the best things that the Zelda franchise has came up with. So, here's to hoping that the Twilight Princess and the Divine Beast will team up once again.
And now, the moment you have all been waiting for. My number 1 pick. My number 1 most wanted Super Smash Bros. Character is Knuckles. The Echidna. Oh, my babies.
Sonic can run, Tails can fly, Knuckles can punch, Knuckles can glide. I didn't mean to make that rhyme. Wait, no, stop. I'd obviously be seeing Knuckles as a powerhouse puncher. He'd be punching, he'd be uppercutting, he might be able to dig. But most importantly, the hardest thing is how to implement his climbing and his gliding. Because even though I think that might be a little broken, I do think that's a pretty core mechanic for Knuckles. Of course, that's just a scratch of the surface of what Knuckles could do, because he still has a ton of gaming history things. Just look at Sonic Battle. He throws a giant freaking rock on people. When I was young, if I had the opportunity to pick Knuckles in any Sonic game, I would not hesitate to pick him. I love the fact that whenever I reach a wall as Sonic, I can't pass that and I have to go somewhere else. I could just climb up there and keep going as Knuckles. I could explore places that I've never been to. I could glide through the whole entire stage, and I could just do things that Sonic couldn't do. He might have speed, but I'm seeing more than he is. Knuckles was my favorite character when I was young. I might even say my favorite video game character. He definitely was one of the reasons as to why I got so into the Sonic franchise. But as time went on, as I grew up, Knuckles started to change more chuckle-worthy. I still like him, but it's really not the same anymore. Sonic Mania's Knuckles did put a bandage on my wound, and that is the Knuckles that I love. And that is the Knuckles that I believe I get to see again if Sakurai put him in the game. I'm not trying to be like emotional, oh, Knuckles sucks now or something like that. I'm just giving you guys my opinion as to why I want Knuckles. Oh, and Shadow, by the way, was very close to reaching number 1 on this list. However, he's been assist trophy 2 times, and now that he has a giant chance of being an Echo Fighter, I just don't feel like we're gonna be seeing an original Shadow the Hedgehog character in Super Smash Bros. Which would be freaking awesome. Like Chaos Control, Chaos Spear, him sliding when he runs, fucking guns! If we get him as an Echo Fighter, I am totally fine with that. However, if he was an original character, I just might put him as number 1 too. But because I don't think it's likely, Knuckles is number 1. This just goes to say that if Sega made another fighting game as cool as a concept of Sonic Battle, they'd hit friggin' bingo. The more thought that I put into it, the more that I find out, Knuckles was the choice that I made when I was a kid, not the choice that I made today. However, Super Smash Bros. Has been my favorite game since I was a kid, and I still feel the same today. So, what the heck, here's to you, kid. Knuckles is number 1 on SonicHaXD's top 10 most wanted Super Smash Bros. Characters.
And there you have it. that is my top 10 wish list for Super Smash Bros. Even if none of these characters make it into Smash, that's fine. Because this is just a fun speculation video that I wanted to make, and I'd like to just tell you guys who, in my opinion, deserve to be in Smash and why I'd like to see them in the game. And this part would have been much more emotional if fucking King K. Rool didn't already appear, but that's not the point. And Sakurai has already done enough to make Smash Ultimate look like the best game in the world, so you know, I'm totally fine if none of these characters make it in. I also wanted to make this video because I'm not really uploading anything during August, and my new stuff will be out during September. I just thought I'd make a filler in between for August. And this is something that I kind of wanted to do for fun for a while already. And I love Smash, and I can't wait for Ultimate. Anyways, that's all the time I have today, and thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you guys around September. Bye bye! And if you're wondering, yes, the thing in the thumbnail is a combination of all the characters that I wanted in Smash combined into this abomination. What do you think about my persona? Leave a comment explaining, like if you can.